Hi, this is Dale Buchanan, the host of Puppy Talk Podcast. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know of my new book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual. It's available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. You can find it on Amazon right now. It's called The Complete Puppy Training Manual, and I will put a link in the show notes of this episode. I'm Dale Buchanan, and this is Puppy Talk, the podcast that offers advice on how to raise a healthy, happy, and obedient puppy. This podcast is sponsored by Top Gun Dog Training. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast now so you don't miss a single episode of Puppy Talk. Welcome to episode number 1 of Puppy Talk. I'm Dale Buchanan, your host, and today we're going to be talking about why owning a new puppy is a lot of work. Now, I know that owning a new puppy is a lot of work because I have a new puppy. She's an 11-month-old mini Australian Shepherd named Dixie. And if you've ever seen my Instagram page, Top Gun Dog Training, or Facebook, or TikTok, then you've seen a lot of videos of her. She's now 11 months old and she has no behavior problems. She's a perfect dog because as a dog trainer and somebody who's trained over 150 puppies in 2020 alone, I have learned all of the negative behaviors that owners don't want. And I didn't want those in my puppy. Those include play biting too hard, barking, jumping, crying, chewing things up, not being able to potty train and pooping and peeing inside the house, and so many other things, pulling on a leash and acting crazy and reactive outside. All of these behaviors are things that owners don't want with new puppies, and all of these could have been prevented. One trend I've seen in 2020 is that everybody's getting a puppy. People are home a lot more due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and they seek companionship and a new addition to the family. What they don't know is that raising a young puppy is indeed a lot of work. A lot of clients that I go to who have new puppies do not understand that when I bring it to their attention how much work is going to be involved and how much training is going to be involved to get this puppy to be obedient and disciplined, they don't understand how much work they have to put in every day until I bring it to their attention. And then they kind of, wonder if they should have gotten a new puppy at all. But I've never had a client who got rid of a puppy yet. They all stuck with it. And everybody is learning as they go. And I'm teaching them as they go. As a dog trainer, I'm also a coach to the owners that provides feedback and critique of what they could be doing better and what they're doing wrong that will help the puppy to be happier and healthier. In this podcast, I'm going to explain the responsibility and dedication that it takes to successfully raise a balanced and obedient puppy without creating behavior problems. After you listen to this, it would be a good idea to go to the website, Top Gun Dog Training, and read some of my blogs, some of my articles related to puppy training and raising a puppy. So what to expect when you get a new puppy? Well, the first thing is, be prepared to put in a lot of work for the first 3 months. That's the first thing. If you're not able and prepared to do that, it's probably not a good idea to get a new puppy. And you don't want puppies to develop behavior problems. My job as a dog trainer, when I work with a family that gets a new puppy, is to work somewhat as a kindergarten or first grade teacher and develop good behaviors in the puppy to where they don't have a chance and even know what bad behaviors are. And this is what I did to my puppy Dixie. I developed good behaviors in her early on. Your puppy does not become potty trained. It does not know how to walk on a leash. And it does not know one word of English. Think about that. Your puppy does not know any English. It doesn't know any language. It doesn't know anything. And if your puppy pees in the house or chews something up because it was left out of its crate or not tethered on a leash, then it's your fault. That's the owner's responsibility. You see, potty training is not a puppy or a dog issue. That's an owner issue. And that's something that the owner desires. The only thing that a puppy knows is that I have a full bladder or I have a full colon and I need to get it out of my body. So you have to take it outside to grass. And you have to train that puppy within the first couple of days to go potty on the grass. I'm not a big fan of pee pads. I have articles on my website why pee pads are a bad idea. And I go to clients' houses who have pee pads, and the first thing they say when they can't potty train their puppy is, I have pee pads throughout the house, but the puppy goes on them sometimes, and sometimes it goes on the floor or the rug. My advice is get rid of the pee pads, and I'll teach you how to take your puppy outside and go potty on the grass. And we do that, and let me tell you, they're much, much happier. They're so happy that I train their puppy and them to do that. Because who wants your dog going pee and poop into the house? It smells, it's disgusting, it's dirty. It's just not a good idea. Even if it's on pee pads, it's not a good idea. What to expect when you get your puppy and it's 8 to 12 weeks old, for the first, say, 4 weeks of owning your puppy. First thing you need to do, obviously, is potty train the puppy. That's what we just talked about. And I have more articles on my website, and I'm going to be doing more podcasts on specifically how to potty train your puppy. I'm just giving you basic information right now. But you want to get that under control. Teach the puppy its name. You want to do that very early on within the first few days of owning the puppy. Teach bite inhibition, which is how hard the puppy bites you. In fact, I just saw a poll on a Facebook group that I'm a member of, which involves dog trainers all over the world. And they did a poll of what is the number one behavior issue that owners call to fix for young puppies. And it is bite inhibition, play biting too hard. That's the number one issue. Potty training was not even on the top 3. It was way down the list. There was leash training and other things, but play biting is definitely number 1. Teach the dog to walk on a leash. Use a slip lead or use a flat collar or a harness, and teach the dog just to get out of the house and walk on a leash. You're able to walk the dog on concrete and on sidewalk without all of its shots. You can even take it on some grass if you know the grass is not contaminated with some feces of other dogs that might have Giardia or other diseases. Just be very careful. Start some basic obedience training with your puppy early on, in between the 8 to 12 week period. And you want to teach sit, down, stay, and come. Those are the 4 basic commands. Start with those, use a food lure, get the puppy to follow the food lure, mark the behavior. I like using a clicker, and I'm not going to get into clicker training in this podcast, but I will do some podcasts on clicker training, and I also have some videos on my Facebook page, Top Gun Dog Training, and YouTube channel of clicker training. You want to teach impulse control. So you want to start implementing the leave it command into your puppy. The leave it command is going to get you out of a lot of bad situations, including picking up objects in the house that you don't want the puppy to have in their mouth, and also things off the ground. And also you use it for play biting too. If they're play biting too hard, you can use the leave it command and then redirect the puppy into a sit, down, or with one of their chew toys. And the final thing that you want to do right when you get your puppy is start socializing with as many people as possible. The biggest problem with COVID-19, which I call pandemic puppies, is that puppies were not properly socialized, and then when they get to be 8, 10, 12 months old, they have serious behavior problems that cannot be reversed. They can't be fixed because the socialization period, the critical socialization period, is from 4 to 16 weeks old. The breeder does the socialization from 4 to 8 weeks. The owners take the puppy around 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, somewhere around there. And then the owners continue the socialization. And it's always a controversial topic of, well, my vet said I can't take the puppy out of the house, so it can't be socialized until it's had all its shots. The thing is, the puppy doesn't need to have all of its shots to socialize with people. You can have it socialize with people. When I got Dixie at 10 weeks, she did not have all of her shots, but she met 5 or 10 new people every day for the first 4 weeks. And she is very highly socialized now. She loves people. She loves all animals. She loves other dogs. She's very affectionate. She's very easy to get along with, and she just loves life. And one of the reasons is because I socialized her early on. So what happens next from 12 to 16 weeks? What do you do with your puppy then once you've come this far? You continue reinforcing the behaviors that you want. Sit, down, stay, come, crate, leave it, those things. You stop reinforcing bad behaviors. If your puppy is barking and puppy is jumping and your puppy is crying when you leave, you don't want to give your puppy attention during those times because it's reinforcing the behaviors that you don't want. And a lot of owners do this unconsciously. They start picking up the puppy, they start giving the puppy affection and attention, and oh no, stop, don't do that, no, it's okay, this and that. And then the puppy keeps doing the behaviors because the puppy's getting attention from you. If the puppy's jumping and you don't want the puppy jumping and you're giving it attention, it's going to keep jumping because the puppy doesn't care if it's good attention or bad attention. If you're saying no, down, push the puppy off your leg, it's still going to keep jumping because you're giving it attention, and then it turns into a play. Then your puppy thinks that you want to play. From 12 to 16 weeks old, you want to continue to socialize your puppy as much as you possibly can. And you also want to teach some more obedience commands. I like commands at this point such as wait, stop, and drop it. If the puppy is getting involved with the tug game with you, you want to have a drop it or an out command so that you can have control of the game. There's nothing wrong with a tug with a puppy, but you just want to make sure that you control the game. Puppies' mouths may get next to your skin and start, nipping your hand by accident. You want to have control of the game so that anytime the puppy gets too rambunctious, you say stop, that's it, it's done, and you put the toy away. You want to start taking the puppy to some other places as well, that like a friend's house or something like that is safe, that it's not going to pick up any viruses or diseases because it hasn't had its final round of shots yet. So you want to be careful about that, but you still can take it some places. Take it for rides in the car. That's a great idea. Take it through a drive-through. Take it as much in the car as you can. Now, you've got your puppy 16 to 20 weeks. At that point, 16 weeks, most puppies have had their final round of shots. They've had their boosters. They've had rabies. They can get out and really socialize now. You can start taking the puppy to the dog park. You can take the puppy to daycare. You can take it to a lot of different places. What else do you teach the puppy now that it's 16 weeks old? You just continue to reinforce the basic commands. Sit, down, stay, come, leave it, drop it, wait, stop. You continue to reinforce those with or without food rewards. If you're using food rewards, if you're using treats, you start to fade the lure. You fade the treats away so they don't depend on the treats. And then you will want to teach your dog better leash training techniques, because this is the age where the dog is getting a little bit bigger, the puppy is getting bigger, and it's going to start pulling more, and it's able to go into the grass now. It's going to start picking everything up in the grass. It's going to pick up leaves and rocks and sticks and everything. And you want to develop a system of walking that is a mutual trust between you and your puppy, to where that puppy will follow your lead and not have to stress out so much. I see this so many times with puppies and owners. They get puppies and they about 4, 5, 6 months old, and the puppies are really bad walking on a leash because they never had any formal leash training up until then, because they weren't outside so much, they weren't in grass and so forth. You want to get this under control as soon as you can. You do not want the leash training to become a problem, especially if you have a big dog like a husky or a lab or golden retriever or a Rottweiler. You do not want those dogs getting 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds and pulling you down the road. Then you've got a serious problem. And trust me, I go to a lot of houses where dogs are 9 to 12 months old and they never learned any basic leash training properly. and it's very hard to fix at that point. You've got to undo everything, because pulling on a leash and reacting on a leash for puppies is self-rewarding. They're going to get something out of that. They can have some freedom when walking, but you have to keep them attuned to you. You have to stay in the moment with them. And please don't talk on your cell phones and text while you're walking a young puppy. You want to stay in the moment with them and guide them on what you want and teach them proper behaviors. I hope some of this information helps you of what to expect when owning a new puppy. It is a tremendous amount of work and responsibility. And I can't express enough how important it is to socialize your puppy early on. You really have to do that. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss a single episode, because I will be giving you some advice on how to raise your puppy properly. In addition, like I've said through this podcast, be sure to check out TopGunDogTraining.com. I have over 70 articles, and most of them are related to puppy training. In addition, subscribe to our Instagram page, Facebook, and YouTube channel, where I have hundreds of videos of me training puppies and clients training puppies that gives real life experience of what to do with puppy behaviors and how to get your puppy disciplined and obedient. Thank you for listening to Puppy Talk.
This is Dale Buchanan, host of Puppy Talk Podcast. I have an announcement of a new book that I just published called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, soon to be available on audiobook. You can find out all the details of this book using the link in the show notes. It's called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's a comprehensive book with a simple and effective way to help potty train your puppy, and it really works. Check out the link in the show notes.